Hi everyone, this is Marie Manucherry. I wanted to take some time today and talk to you about how to keep your body healthy. It's actually easier than you think. As you know, when we talk about energy and frequency and vibration, it's important to keep your energy elevated. And what that means is to have your energy in a happy, more positive frequency or vibration. Vibrations are happening all the time. Your body is responding to the circumstances, to your thoughts, to the media. It's responding to everything. And it's your job to be aware of that response. Do you like it? Is it making you happy? Is it bringing you joy? Can you feel your body buzzing in a positive way? This is Charles. He's obviously part of the video today. Um, this morning, as Courtney and I left the radio station, because I'm sure most of you know I host a radio program once a week here in the Northwest, and it's live, and then we make it into a podcast. We were leaving the studio, and we saw something running across the road, and neither one of us knew what it was, but it caught our attention. And so, of course, I stopped the car as this little creature was running in front of the car, and we both were like, is that a black squirrel, a tiny black squirrel, or is that a chipmunk? But it was adorable. It was carrying this huge pine cone in its mouth. It made our energy expand because we both love nature, we both love animals, and just to see this lovely creature, so tiny, it was really little, carrying this huge pine cone really expanded our energy. You can see even as I talk about it, my energy expands. My posture becomes more straight. I'm staring into the camera with more enthusiasm. That's what it's like to have high frequency energy. Imagine if you had that regarding your health. And of course, what if questions can be helpful. What if my body is amazing? What if my body is excited and happy? And notice when I repeated the what if questions just now, I didn't even use the words health in it. Some words will push your buttons when you use what if questions, like, what if my health is fantastic? And if you've had health issues, you might have a negative feeling about the word health. You might even have a negative feeling about the word body. It doesn't really matter where you might have some resistance regarding language. Like, it's okay that you have resistance. That can change over time as you raise your frequency. But what does matter is to be aware of where your resistance is, because that's going to take a lot of time to change your resistance about a word, where it's a lot easier to just replace the word. I like to use more poetic language that's going to have the same meaning, like, what if my body's happy? That is something that the body will feel when it is healthy. It will feel happy. What if my body's excited? The body feels excited when it's healthy. So you can play with language when you're creating what if questions and really allow yourself to avoid the words that you have resistance to. Instead of thinking, oh, I shouldn't have resistance to the word body. It's okay that you do. It's perfectly fine. The fact that you know you have resistance towards it is excellent. So let's say you have had a health issue in a certain part of your physical form. Even I chose to not use the word body right now. I love everything to do with anatomy and medicine and health and awareness, so very few of that language actually I feel resistance towards. But just for our sake and having the conversation that we're having right now, what if you have a problem with your eyes? Maybe your eyesight is changing. Maybe you have to wear glasses now and you don't like to wear glasses. Or maybe your prescription keeps moving up on your contacts. Whatever the circumstances are, we're going to go ahead and talk about ways that you could affect your visual health. And you can use whatever we talk about in any part of your body. It might be kind of fun, if you want to discover which chakra governs a body part that you might be having some challenges with. The third eye, it's right here in the center of the forehead, it governs your vision, it governs the eyes, it governs all of the five senses actually, it governs the brain. And so if we look at the sixth chakra or the third eye, one of its responsibilities when it's in high frequency for that human person is to allow that human person, you, me, everyone on the planet, to have intuition, to utilize intuition, to let it be a powerful force in your life. That's really one of the main characteristics of the third eye. Now, every single one of your chakras also has an emotional component, And the emotional component for the third eye is to feel safe and loved and cherished in the world with your own visual or multisensory identity. So, in other words, to feel free to be creative with the way you express, the way you see, the way you hear things, that you don't follow the mainstream all the time perception using your brain in that regular normal sort of way, but that you allow your brain to be creative, that you allow yourself to be poetic, that you allow yourself to be unique and different in the way that you sense the world around you. That's really what is important in terms of that emotional component, feeling comfortable with that, whatever that means to you. Now, on top of that, there's something very interesting regarding the third eye, which is the sixth layer of the auric field. So you have this beautiful aura that surrounds you. Lovely chakras, thousands of chakras actually, but we're just going to be focusing on the 7 primary for this video. And the third eye has a great relationship, the sixth chakra, with the sixth layer of the auric field. And that sixth layer of the auric field, it has a phrase on it. Every layer has a word or a phrase on the field, these beautiful bands of energy that surround you that can stretch out to 3 city blocks. And the phrase on the sixth layer of the auric field is "we are all one." So it allows a person to have better sight is to reduce their judgments. Judgments towards yourself, judgments towards others. And right now on Earth, things are a little wonky in that way. We're kind of divided in the U.S., or it appears that way based on the numbers of the amount of people who voted, which was not even probably even 50% of the population. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe it was a little bit more this time, like 60%. But not everybody voted. And so we have this division, and we have judgments about it. I have judgments. You have judgments. Everyone has judgments. Now, we can work at eradicating those, but we can also just find moments where we can have a beautiful feeling about something that we have a negative judgment about. That's going to be great for one's vision. That could be something political. That could be maybe you're divorced and you don't like your ex-spouse very much, but maybe you could have a positive feeling about that person. Or maybe you have negative feelings about your boss or your landlord or your neighbors, a different family member. And that's okay that you have those awarenesses and those judgments. I'm not saying you have to go out of your way to befriend people to make sure that you have a healthy body or that your eyesight changes. But just in your mind, you could for a moment entertain that there is something beautiful about everything and everyone, because that's what creation focuses on. Creation focuses on the beauty of all beings. Now, creation can also see the potential that a human being has and their lack of not being in that place right now, which is okay. It really isn't a race. Evolution is not a race. There's not a finish line per se. And it could take hundreds of thousands of years for a soul to have its own awareness and its own awakening. And the universe is not measuring that in the way that humans do. So to help your eyesight and this part of your body and everything that the sixth chakra governs, you need to raise your vibration against what lowers the vibration for that part of the body, which is judgment. So you want to stop the vibration of judgment as much as possible. And you can have moments of that throughout the day, moments and moments and moments. You don't have to carry it all day long. It doesn't have to be this constant situation where you're hard on yourself because it's hard for you to not feel resistance towards certain things. But you can have moments. An example would be that I could write a novel about my marriage. It was a little cray-cray on some levels. But I choose for the majority of the time, not all the time, but for the majority of the time, because I want to have good vision and I want to have good psychic abilities, because the third eye governs intuition. I choose to think of the laughter and the fun, especially when our children were small, because we had so much fun. So that's a decision that I make. It's a choice, believe it or not. When resistance comes in your life, like I could choose to think about the negative moments, and I'm not saying I don't, I do. But instead of going all the way down that kind of uncomfortable yellow brick road, or, the Alice in Wonderland, falling into the earth with my negative thoughts, I choose to catch myself as often as I can if I'm thinking about that part of my life. And I choose to put a different image in my head. I choose to have gratitude that my kids have had, especially when they were young, a very loving, tickly, playful dad in their life, because I think that's gigantic, and I'm extremely grateful for that. So I would love for you, even if you don't have eye problems, but maybe you want to have more intuition, try changing your judgments about others or circumstances, other situations. Your resistance is not necessarily wrong. I don't want you to feel like you have to change your belief system and come to some different perception. What if your belief system is perfect and wonderful, but what if you could see the beauty in everything for moments at a time, every single day for the rest of your life? How much intuition would you gain, and how much beautiful eyesight would you have during this beautiful endeavor here on earth? Okay, bye-bye.